All right, so we're gonna look at Dragunov, but just to recap from the Kazuya is try and put the game into categorize the game into situations. Situations like I'm at minus. Situation could be I'm at plus. Could be you know at the wall. Your wall Loki could be when they're about really low on health. Just try and categorize situations into your head while you're playing the game and really try and take in the information from your opponent, right? So you categorize the situation. For example, I'm minus. And so you play your game, right? But you also at the same time want to observe what your opponent does. So think of something like, okay, I'm minus. He pressed. Okay, put that in your head. Next time you're minus, he might press, right? Or I'm plus. He's throwing out dick jabs, right? So next time I'm plus, I look for dick jabs. Things like that. So that's a good way to make the game feel a lot less random. Is if you can categorize the game into situations and pick up what your opponent likes to do in those situations. All right, so here's the first situation that you can get info from your opponent. You throw out the 442. He gets plus frames from it, right? You're minus. He throws out the down two, the low poke. So already in your head, you should be like, okay, when I'm minus, he's gonna throw out lows, the down two specifically. Yeah, there you just got to be careful of your spacing. Recognize that when you hit when you hit this here, yeah. So when you hit this here, you got to recognize that you're too far out to get any, to land this on block. So, mm, yeah, just got to recognize the spacing. Okay, that was kind of lucky. So this is another thing. It looks kind of random, but you can still pick stuff out from it. So you whiffed, he punished, right? So you caught him with this. You caught him attacking, which a situation that didn't look like he should be attacking in. So that's something, or maybe he was trying to whiff punish you. He thought I was going to whiff. Either way, that's something you put into your head. Okay, the situation here was. Let's see. Okay, so the situation here was he's at minus with pushback, right? And he attacked or tried to kind of whiff punish what he thought was going to whiff. So that's something you keep in mind going through the game. Okay, here's another something you can notice. All right, so when you get plus frames on this guy, he's committing to big sidewalks. So he did it there, and then you'll see it. Yep, right there on wake up, he's doing a big sidewalk. So good to catch him with the low. Yep, just clean it up. Okay, so he just caught you mashing there. Okay, yeah, here. So again with the blocking that's like his 12 frame mid right from Dragunov. It's a really awkward situation because it's pushback. It's not that minus, but if he presses here right away to catch you coming in, he's gonna whiff. So this is like a big situation that comes up a lot in Tekken. I'm just gonna play it back again. All right, so here he throws out a move. It's not punishable, but there's like a pushback situation that means that anyone here who presses right away is gonna whiff to someone just holding back or backdashing or whatever. So the mind game here is like, okay, if I dash in to hit him because of this pushback, he can be brave, right, and just throw out a quick move, especially like a counter hit move, uh, basically right away, and he'll catch you running in and trying to hit him because you don't want to whiff, right? So that's one part of it. The second part of it is like, okay, you recognize that he's gonna be brave and throw out the move here, but he can also whiff. So it's just a mind game basically. But you got to know what the stakes are. So if he whiffs here, you launch him for it, and vice versa. So it's a mind game you got to play a lot in Tekken. But the power crush, it does the same job as letting him whiff, but it's just way riskier. So in these type of situations, you can play the mind game, but he doesn't have anything here that can really frame trap you, right? So here's the pushback, right? If he presses anything here that's quick, I mean he's gonna whiff. So there's no need to throw out the power crush because he's gonna either whiff or he's gonna have to do something so slow that you can just throw out like a safer counter hit option. Alright, he punishes the string. That's something. That's another thing you got to pick up from your opponents is like what are they punishing, what aren't they punishing, so you can change kind of like what moves you use throughout the game. There you go. He takes a down two on his turn. Yeah, a little bit anxious here. You're whiffing. He's playing passively because he knows he has a big lead. You're gonna have to run in there and make something happen, right? So he's playing passively. So um, the way you can play this, right? So he's playing passive, right? He's not doing anything. At some point, you got to get in there, but you're a little bit anxious, so you're just hoping that he's going to run into this move. But really, what you need to do here is get in his face and make him scared because right now, if he plays this like by the book, he's got a big lead. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to attack you. So he's playing passively. He's playing by the book. So you got to get in there and make him scared because otherwise he's just gonna hold back, move in and out. He's just waiting for you to. Yeah, there it is. He waits for you to whiff. And then he catches you anxious again, so you're pressing into the string. It is really hard to play patiently when you're at such a such a life deficit that you need to make up. But yeah, so he punished the string before. It's likely he will do it again. So I guess with Negan here, you can throw out the mid to dissuade him from. You can either throw out the mid to dissuade him from punishing the high, or you can just not do the high, just do the first two hits. Because what's going to happen is, if you just do the first two hits and you stop, he's still going to duck because he's going to think that you're going to do the last hit, the high. So essentially, what that creates is like a situation that you get your opponent to do something, right? You do the first two hits knowing that he's going to duck the third hit, but you don't throw it out. So you know he's ducking. And it's not to say that you get to throw out a mid here and and beat his ducks, but you know he's not. Basically, you know he's going to duck. He's not going to press. So in that sense, you get to apply pressure by. It's a concept known as like mental frames. People talk about. So he's going to be worried about this third hit that he wants to duck because you've thrown it out before. So if you don't throw out the third hit, he's still going to duck. That gives you enough time to pressure with lows, mids, whatever, pokes from Negan. Okay, good break out of the corner pressure with the poke strings. Yeah. So I guess you're just throwing out the 1-2-4 as a habit, so it can be tough to break, but yeah. So I guess we did see this before. Um, so you get out here. Now you're gonna put some pressure on him. And last time I mentioned when you put him under pressure, he liked to commit to his sidewalk. So obviously the throw isn't tracking here. Um, you got a lot of options with Negan to track sidewalks. Just gotta put them into practice. And a miss punish on the power crush, but okay, you're getting a little anxious here, I can tell, because you're just kind of hoping that he's gonna run into something, right? So that's kind of a thing you got to work on when you're low and you need to make a comeback, and your opponent is not just running into you trying to kill you. Essentially, you got to figure out you got to figure out a new play style, right? You got to get in his space because he's playing the life lead. He's backing up. He's just playing passive. He's throwing out quick pokes, but you're playing as if he's trying to run in and kill you, right? Throwing out down 4-2s. So you need to adjust your play style here and actually put some pressure on him so that he can't just close out the life lead and take the round like that. So that involves navigating this kind of space. Let me see if I can get a. Yeah, that involves navigating this kind of space, right? If I can pause it. Yeah, so you don't know if he's going to dash in and attack. You don't know if he's going to back up. But like I said, he's been playing passive with the life lead, so that's your cue that he's not gonna run in and try and kill you, right? Because we saw from the situation before, he played really passive with the life lead at the end of the round. So this space is really hard to navigate, but you gotta learn how to do it. You gotta get in there without eating a counter hit launcher, and you gotta put some pressure on him either with lows or the back 1+2, the plus frames. You got to run some offense on him because otherwise he's just going to sit there and watch you whiff and punish. And that's how he takes the round. Yeah, there he just got fed up and threw out the low because he was like, huh, this guy is just throwing out random stuff. Yeah, again, the sidewalk under pressure. That's something you can pick up on. Okay, on his turn, he takes the low. Honestly, it can be really hard to block, to deal with down two because Dragunov can throw out so many really good mids and safe pressure mids like the back one two, the running two, so it's pretty scary to deal with down two. Nice. I like this pressure here. You can punish. Yeah, that should have punished, but I guess you were a little bit slow. Yep. Here's another situation where you were minus and he threw out the down two. Like I said, it can be scary to try and block down two, but if you can recognize the situations where they use it a lot, it can make the reads easier. Nice whip punish. Okay. A little bit anxious to kill him, so down 4-2 is a little bit, not a great reason. Yeah, so you're trying to throw out a keep out because scared of him coming in, but you don't really need to resort to anything. A down 4-2 would kill him, obviously, but you've got plenty of safe moves that would deal lethal or almost lethal damage here that you don't have to throw out an unsafe down 4-2. Yeah, so the spacing again here, so yeah, so this spacing you got to be really It's really hard to deal with, but it's got something gotta learn. I guess he's just at this point figured out that you're at the end of the round you're gonna be throwing out randomly moves because you're scared, and that's how he gets this read on well this whiff punish, right? Um, yeah. So at the end of the round, you gotta be really careful about whiffing because that's how you lose this round. All right, nice. Continuing to poke out of the corner. That's a good way to get yourself off the wall. Yep, nice low. Okay, well, okay, you went for the power crush here. Well, you almost got him, but a little bit slow. Okay, yeah, you gotta be just about knowing the strings. Yeah, so here is just he's locking you down with jabs. It's gonna be really hard to you gotta make out a really hard read at this point when you're this low on life and he's just trying to control you. So that's just tough. Just okay. So while it's not terrible to throw out moves like this, it doesn't really help you in this situation, and I'll explain why. So he just whiffed. So he's playing passively, right? Not every player does this, but he's been playing a lot of passive play, so it's something that you can pick on at this point. It's the second game. This kind of move in this kind of situation is good against a playstyle of someone who's trying to like run in and disrespect and you know throw out moves from ranges that don't make sense. So that's what this move is good at dealing with. But when your opponent is playing passive in this way, or just trying to kill you all the time, because the situation here is you basically taken a situation where you could have pressured him with, and you just put all the pressure back on yourself, right? So just gonna play that again. Right. So here's the whiff, right? The whiff is a trigger for him to play passive. He's like, oh, I whiffed. I'm just gonna block. Now, not every player plays like this, like I said, but this is something you could have picked on from the first game. So off of this whiff, it would have been better to either throw out a low or dash up, or throw out one of your plus spray moves or something along those lines. Because here you're playing against someone that you're not playing against, so to speak. You're playing against a player that this guy is not that player that you're trying to play against. Yeah, you're trying to catch him running in, but he's been playing passive the whole time. So you gotta change up the play style. You gotta be in his face more. At least in these type of situations where like these kind of spacings, right? He's not wildly running in all the time. So throwing out these kind of moves at this kind of spacing, it's getting you killed. So yeah, the change you got to make is like recognize, okay, he's probably playing a little bit passively here. I got to get in there, and you got to get him to do something, right? Because if he's just gonna hold back uh, and wait for you to whiff, that's how you've been losing these rounds. Okay, that was much better just because of the spacing, right? Even though you didn't immediately attack him, and he's playing passive, at least you're doing something that makes sense for the range here. Here, yeah. So a little bit anxious. I guess one of your go-tos when you're not sure what to do is to just throw something out. But Dragunov can't. Is not. He's not going to kill you off of lows. Well, he can, but it takes him a really long time, right? So you've got a really big life lead. If you see this damage here, and you know that's like seven, at least seven more that he's got to do in order to kill you. So you don't have to be too scared. Yeah. So now when he is playing actively, he catches you mashing, because now it's his turn to make the comeback. So that's when you got to be thinking, okay, my opponent needs to make the comeback here. What's going to kill me? The down two is not going to kill you right away. Getting counter hit with the slide, compare the damage. That's going to kill you, and you can only take two more of those, right? So, okay, didn't get the punish. I don't know if you meant to block that. It looked like it just caught your backdash. Okay, I think he just picked up the fact that you really just throw out a lot of down four ones in a row, so he interrupted you. Um, that's where Negan's like down four one strings come into play. If you can mix in throwing out single down four ones into down four ones, and then here maybe the down four one, the full string, because he's probably getting he's getting sick of just blocking down four ones all day. Yeah, he did it to you here, exactly what I was kind of explaining for you. So he throws out the jab, and then catches you because he finishes the string. Yeah, you build up this kind of anxiety in your opponent, like throwing out down for ones, jabs, whatever, and then you cash out by finishing the string. Yeah, again, the sidewalk. You gotta lab what your options are for dealing with sidewalk. A good basic thing is to just step with them and realign. Mm. Yeah. So if you look at the spacing here, yeah, you gotta be really aware of the spacing. It's getting you killed a lot. He is running in, but he's still got a lot of ground to cover, and he's already even blocking from here because he's like, this guy's been throwing out nonsense every time. Yeah, so this whiff is really unnecessary, and you didn't even need to go for any kind of crazy, you know. It's based on the spacing, right? This situation is based on the spacing. At this spacing, yeah, he can do running too, but he's he's still got to cover all this ground. So if you're gonna throw out a keep out option, you have to recognize, you know, how to get the actual timing on it. And just a little bit unaware of the strings. Good choice on the throw to get the positioning. Plus frames. Yep, he does the same thing back to you. Ah. Yeah, getting killed by the same string.